Hello everyone. This is Art Journaling in Simple Steps. We're going to add some more acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is very versatile. It does many different things. It's really easy to add color to your art pages when you add acrylic paint. So there'll be many videos on acrylic paint. So I do like to add pieces of wax paper or parchment paper between my pages when I am using acrylic paint or watercolors or any kind of paint. It saves a little bit of mess getting to your other pages. You want to make sure there's quite a bit of paper all the way around. These are a little small, but it's what I had, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm having some problems with my encoder, and I already started doing this video, and then the video froze. So I have started just a little bit. When you're using acrylic paint, you want to shake your bottle. If it's been sitting for any length of time, acrylic paint will separate. And so you want to shake it. You want to get in the habit of shaking it so that it all blends back together before you start using it. All right. So what I wanted to discuss first is acrylic paint washes. When you add water to acrylic paint, that is a wash. And when you don't add acrylic paint, you can see what's underneath it less. If you add a little bit of water, you can see more of what's underneath the paint. So I'm going to do a little experiment here. This is the same stamp here, and I have just coated it with some acrylic paint that has no water in it. And you can see that it really covers up. There's a stamp here. It really covers up the entire thing. You can't see what's underneath it. That's what acrylic paints do. Some of the lighter colors, you'll still be able to see through them. Just, like yellows and really light colors. White sometimes. But normally, with most of the colors, if you just paint them straight, you will cover up what you have underneath them. All right, so if you add a little bit of water, I've just got some water in a spray bottle here, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this same gray paint and mix it around on my palette here so that the water gets into, dilutes the paint. Maybe just a tad bit more so we can see the difference. And I'm going to paint over this leaf. And you can see it doesn't cover the leaf entirely. Adding a little bit of water makes the paint a little bit more transparent. And if I were to add even more water to that paint, you'd get a very light color. I probably needed to add a little bit more color to it, but you get the idea. When you do this, add a lot of water to your page. I'm just going to use up this paint here on this page and go on to something else. When you use a lot of water, you're making a paint wash, an acrylic paint wash. You can do this with watercolors as well. And what that means is you can cover your page and still see what's underneath. So you can blend the images on the page so that they're all tinted the same color. It blends the page a little bit. And you can see here, not going over the entire image, but you can see that I've added paint to around it so it blends the whole page in as a single color. but you can still see what's underneath it. So that makes it kind of nice. All right. I still have some of this gray paint and I really don't want it. I'm going to set this aside. So that's an acrylic paint wash. You add a lot of water to the paint. You can brush over your elements, blend the whole page together so that they all look like they're the same color family. You can do that with any color. All right. I'm going to set that aside to dry and come over here and do the same thing with a little bit of blue over this stamp. I'm going to do something, let me use a light blue. I'm going to do something with the stamp after the paint dries, but I just wanted you to see doing a paint wash over this page. It blends. Is that the beginning of my signature? I'm not sure. No, it's not. Make sure I'm not at the last page here. There we go. All right. Where was I? I want that hummingbird. And I'm going to do the entire page. I'm going to add a little bit of gray to it since it's on my palette. Try to mix it all in so it's a single color. And I don't think I've got enough water to this to make it a true wash, so I'm adding just a little bit more. You can kind of tell if it's really runny. Not quite like water, but almost. You can pretty much tell that you've got enough, and you can brush it on to see just how thick it is as well. So I'm going to brush this wash over the entire hummingbird here. He's a stamped hummingbird. And I'm going to blend this whole page with this color. Let it dry, and then in another video I'll come back and do something with that hummingbird. So I just want the whole page to have one color to it. Another way to do a paint wash is use a wet brush. That also adds water to your paint. If you don't use a dry brush, the water on the brush is actually added to your paint. And another thing, uh-oh, I've got some bit of paper in there. Don't want that. And another way to add water to paint set that one aside because it is all wet too. Let me just put it over here. Another way to add water to paint, maybe not quite as a wash, but a moist baby wipe. There's water, there's moisture in the baby wipe. So if you use a baby wipe that's pretty wet, let me get another palette out here. I'm going to use some red. No, I've got too much red. Let me use a little bit of purple. Get some different colors going on here. If you use a wet baby wipe, just dip it in and spread that paint around with the baby wipe. You're adding water to the paint. And it's making it more transparent. You can also use a dry baby wipe to get more solid paint on your page. So baby wipes are really nice to use. all kinds of ways. In fact, I've got some purple here, and we've got purple on this page too, and I can use it up. Make some wrinkles in it and just dab, just to use it up. So, baby wipes, they can be used for all kinds of stuff. All right. Another thing that you can do is use a foam brush. I love foam brushes. And let me use this page and maybe a dark purple. Dark purple will be really good for this. I'm going to put some paint on my palette. You can paint with a foam brush. You can add water to a foam brush. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some paint to the tip. Just to the tip. I love doing this because it has to do with circles, you know. And you use a circular motion and just put the tip and twirl. You get circles. If you've loaded the brush up well with paint, not too much, but enough, you'll get perfect circles. I love the texture of these. You can see that it swirls around in circles, and you can actually see the marks from the brush. I really enjoy this. Take your time, practice getting a perfect circle. Lift up. It's a lot of fun. Can't stop. Get the paint off the brush. But I do enjoy doing that as well. And another thing that you can use is just a Q-tip, a cotton swab. Let's do another color, maybe a light purple. And I'm just going to put it right here. Paint with a cotton swab. I like to do circles since I've already got circles here. You can do anything that you want to do. And then when you're done with the cotton swab, you can just throw it away. Very relaxing. Circles relax me. I don't know what it is. I like to use the cotton swabs, but I use different swabs for the different colors. I don't like to mix the colors on my cotton swabs. Well, I could just paint circles forever. So, little circles. You could do polka dots. Circles are circles no matter how big. And then I will let this dry and come back and do some more acrylic paint. I've got pages that need some color, and acrylic paint is the perfect way to add color. So have some fun with it. I will just sit here forever making polka dots and circles. Make sure that you clean up your brushes, your foam brushes, and such right away. If it dries on your foam brush, that foam brush will get hard and it gets to be unusable. So that's really thick right there. So let's spread that out a little bit. That one too. So clean up your stuff after you've done using it. Make sure things don't get unusable, and you can use stuff over and over again if you keep everything clean. So that's more acrylic paint. I'll come back with more and more acrylic paint after these dry. Thanks for watching.